You're welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Joey Sparks. That's two E's, no Y. You heard me, two E's, no Y. And in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Colorado College Fine Arts Center in Colorado Springs theater play of Misery. Yes, that Misery. By the one and only Stephen King. You know, James Caan, Kathy Bates, Oscar winning Kathy Bates, I do believe. I know she was nominated, but I think she won on that one. Yeah, if you're ready to hear my review, then let me know. But first, I gotta play my intro. Cool. If you didn't know, your boy went to go see Misery. It was the Colorado College here in Colorado Springs. It was the Fine Arts Center. Nice little theater room there that they had. And then, this is like one of the first pieces of theater I've been to in a while, right? Especially at this mature age, at this matured self. Oh, before we get started, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, I'm a music videographer by trade, but any type of videography or music or any type of art, period, I'm down for. And that's the lens I do my reactions, reviews, and unboxings through. So hit the subscribe button, stick around. But back into this, like I was saying, is it was the first time I've been able to, at a mature age, view some theater. And let me tell you, it was dope. Of course, the old man in me decided to go the early show at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. You better believe it. But this was the last weekend, and they have been showing it for 2-3 weeks, maybe. So really polished, really had it down already. And you could just tell, no fumbling of the lines, nothing. Your boy got, I was going to sit up front. That's for sure. So I got the little upfront ticket, though there's a slight issue with some of the sight lines when you sit up front, but they don't have like projector screens or anything like that. I want to say maybe it might have fit 400, might be a stretch. Maybe I'm off. I don't know. Someone could fact check me and be like, no, it doesn't. It shows 230. What do you make you think it's 400? I don't know. But it was a pretty decent size, pretty decent turnout. But anyways, before we get started, I gotta tell you, if you ain't never seen the movie Misery or even read the novel by Stephen King, then this is your spoiler warning. Like, this is an alert to tell you, hey man, everything I'm gonna talk about from here on out is gonna spoil this. So like, I'm sitting here on my social media, and this starts running across.
My name is Annie Wilkes. I'm a nurse.
What happened?
You were in a car crash, Paul.
Like, I was like, oh, I'm for it. I can't remember when the movie came out, but of course I didn't read like the novels or nothing like that. But the movie head in me sat down, and I was like, yo, let me enjoy this movie. And man, it was like one of the best, like, it was almost like, it was like a suspense thriller. It was the first time I went, wow, every time I'm on the edge of my seat and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so bad. And they draw out that tension for so long for me to finally go, oh, okay, it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. And I just always loved it. So I was just like, there's not much theater that might be able to get me out, especially if I don't know the story already or something like that. So I was like, I'm definitely going to see this one, especially when I saw that little intro right there. Shout out to uh let's see, they have Clark Scott Carmichael. He would be Paul Sheldon, the gentleman in the wheelchair here, if you're unfamiliar with the story. And then Annie Wilkes was Casey Killeran. I hope I'm saying that right. Killeran. And then the only other character they had was obviously the Sheriff Buster, Mike Jankowitz. Mike Jankowitz, which also he did his part very, very, very well. So if you're unfamiliar with the story, here comes the spoiler. A writer who writes novels goes away to a lodge in Colorado. It just so happens, drives through a snowstorm, falls off the road. Coincidentally, his number one fan, like super uber fan, Annie Wilkes, finds him and pulls him out of his car wreck and brings him to her home and nurses him back to health. And along this journey, we find out that Annie is a few, she's, let's just say she's not the brightest color in the crayon in the shed. She's not the brightest crayon in the shed. I think that's how you say it when you want to sound dumb. So she's got a few screws loose, right? With a little bit of compulsive obsessiveness on Paul and this story that he writes called Misery. Well, spoiler alert, throughout this him awakening and stuff, he finds out that Annie is a fan and she wants to like read the new book, and then she finds out that he kills off her favorite character, and she's like, no, I can't have you do it. And she's like threatening him and burns the novel and makes him rewrite. I'm super paraphrasing. Makes him try and rewrite, and this whole time this man has like 2 broken legs and like a broken arm. She's feeding him like pills and stuff like that, and during this time he's trying things like trying to save the pills. Oh my god. And then like crush him up and put him in a wine dinner with her, and she ends up spilling the glass of wine after he spent like weeks building up these pills and trying to crush him up for this. And like it just, things just not going his way, him trying to figure out how to pick the lock and get out of the bed, get out of the bedroom and stuff like that, and then her finding out, and at one point in time she hobbles him because he was trying to leave, and so she puts the block in between his legs and goes to town. It's crazy. But I needed to give props to obviously the actors, but the actress Casey Killeran, who played Annie Wilkes, hats off, chef's kiss. She really, really, really carried the beginning of it, because like you have to open up the setting and tell the audience like, yo, like what the audience is like, Paul, like what am I doing here, what is that? And she has to tell him everything and like get him up to speed, and because he doesn't know how he got there, and so she carries so much of that opening piece that when he starts to come to and realize that she's not being nice, excuse me, then he starts to take over and he starts to carry it. And so I thought there was a nice balance, but I got to give probably the majority of the heavy lifting has to go to Casey. Like that's just what it is. So shout out to her. Shout out to the fine arts department with their display too, because it was like, like a spinning wheel on the stage, and each stage has different areas of the.
You have a compound fracture of the tibia in both.
Okay, so this is the bedroom, right? Even this door, but through this door, shout out to Casey right here, and this is Clark right here. Through this doorway, there's another chair, and then like a old TV, and you can always hear like the little audio they got playing. there'd be like MASH or something in the background or something like that. It was really done well for its timepiece. Because you got to remember, like, this story was written when there wasn't cell phones and stuff like that, or, none of that sort of stuff. So part of the story is like negated on this winter storm that knocked down all communication, so Paul couldn't get regular help, right? Um, but like even like the little things that like they changed from the movie, which might be partly true towards the novel more say, which I'm more than likely sure if I went to go read the novel has more of these things in here. But like she was feeding him at one point like some tomato soup or something like that, and he got her worked up, and she like spilt a little bit on the ground, and she got a bucket, started wiping it up with a rag and putting it in there, and then he wasn't agreeing with her, so she walks over and grabs his little water cup right here, pours it in the bucket, and then dips it back in, and it's like this mucky, like see-through pink. And she's like, here, now you could take your meds. He's like, oh, Annie, come on, don't do it. Clark really played that part really well. He had a lot of the comic relief in there too. But like I said, is like if you go through this door and take a right before you go into this little living room area, the set would spin from this way, from here to here, and there'd be a little hallway, and then there was like a little kitchen over there, and then a hallway and kitchen shot, and then if you spun the other way, it would be, ooh, that's when she got mad. When that lightning hit, it was crazy. Then you got to see this outside set when it spun the other way. So I thought, to me, it was like something about just the set dressing, like really kind of inspired me. Plus all the pieces that come together when you're throwing a live play. Like you have the actors and actresses, but then you have the set design and the people working and dressing the set. Because like at one point in time, like you see here, there's snow on the door, but then they like spin it around at another point in time, and there isn't snow on like it's because like she's had him here way past the melting of the snow. So there's people working behind the set hands. Some of the lighting that would make it look like the like time is passing, and so like there'd be a shadow through these like pane windows. Super dope like that. Some of the audio pre-recording stuff for bigger, louder sounds that you need. The hiding of the mic and Annie's hair right here because they have to have stage mics and stuff like that. It just gave me a level of creativity, and I was super, 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 super um, enthusiastic about being able to attend that. So yeah, my suggestion is if you ever get a chance to see this done live somewhere, go watch it and tell me how the female lead has to hold this story. Like, there's a lot of weight on Annie Wilkes' character, so super super dope. I enjoyed it thoroughly. 2 thumbs up, and if you watch this video this much, you might as well hit the subscribe button because you enjoy my take on things. So that's all we do is we take a videographer or movie lover's point of view and we run with it here. Okay, so until the next time, make sure you like and comment, and I'll holla. Peace.